Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again coming to you from the Minecraft Vanilla server. As you can see, I just turned all my water off. I tore out everything that I had built down here that was unnatural stones, like cobblestone, anything like that. So I can go through and replace it, get the waterfall looking right, and then really figure out what I'm going to do with the entrance. But that being said, I still need to make a spot where I'm going to have my nice overlook. The reason those are unnatural is they're blocking the water supply, so I can quickly note them and point them out when I need to get over to them. So we're going to do this really quick, actually. I'm going to take this off because that'll ruin everything. I think this is going to be my overlook area that I was talking about. The water should still seamlessly flow straight on down here without actually affecting anything. Except right there, it will not. Now it should. Oh, I didn't bring any of my stone with me. That's annoying. Now it should actually flow if I can just dig this area out. And what this area will be is it'll be connected down below somehow, but the water should flow seamlessly over top of this and just give me kind of like this beautiful view to watch like the sunset and all that fun stuff. So that's what should happen in this little area. I'm not 100% sure how well that's going to work, but part of what I want to do today is I want to hollow out not a lot of the mountain. It's not going to be an entirely hollow mountain, but I do want to hollow out big areas in here where I'm going to, because this is what my base is going to be. I bet you, I hope there's no lava in this mountain. I don't think there is. This should drop me straight into my base, actually. There's a cave in this mountain. Maybe I miscalculated that. Let me see. 53? Let's go up a little bit higher. I think it would be this way. That would get me out of this. Am I going the wrong way through this mountain? I know you guys can't see a thing. There's, okay, there's clay. I'm actually too low. Let me, which is fine. I can have an underground path. Let's do this. This should get me, there we go. Ooh. I'm still actually way too low. Yeah, either way, this is close. I just need to, I'm going to put this here just so I know that it's there and go through and fix this. And I know this is all ugly stuff, but don't worry, guys. This is going to be covered. There we go. That's kind of where I wanted to come out. That's much better. I can't believe it took me so long to get there. Either way, it should connect when I go through and start digging this thing out, because the whole purpose of this is that this is somehow... So my entrance is probably going to be set back in this mountain, or I have to build it out a little bit because this stuff's just still too much, I believe. Because that was all from my previous setup. And we're going to see how this ends up working and looking. But this is where my base is going to be. So I need to give myself a nice living quarters. Because if I don't have a nice living quarters, what's the point of living? No, that's not true. I'm not saying that if you don't have a nice house, there's no point of living. It just helps. It helps a lot. I like having a nice place to live. I work hard to make sure that I do have a nice place to live. So, today, what we can talk about, actually, I figure, because a lot of people have asked me for this because of Guude's recent videos, especially after I did my whole video on toilet habits and problems in the bathroom, things like that. I didn't realize that people were, or that Guude had talked about like very personal things like his underwear and all that stuff, and people were actually like, hey Jeff, this reminds me of like a lot of Guude's video. You should talk about your underwear too. Okay, that's fine. I hide nothing from anybody, so you guys can feel free to ask about my underwear all day long. I will answer the questions appropriately. You guys might not like hear what I want to say. You might not like it, but whatever. I'm going to answer it anyway. So underwear, kind of like Guude in his childhood, because I went back and watched his video to make sure I could reference exactly what you guys were discussing. Kind of like Guude back in his childhood, I did not pick out my underwear either. Like, so I guess when I was, you know, out of diapers and actually potty trained enough to be able to wear underwear, I guess my parents didn't feel that I was the smart enough child to be able to make my own underwear buying decisions. So they, of course, did it for me. And just like Guude, I started with the good old whitey tighties, like not boxer briefs, not boxers, but whitey tighties. I don't even think boxers were a big thing back when I was a child. I'm unsure about boxer briefs. I'd have to do some research to find out if boxer briefs were actually a thing or not. And I'm, like I said, not 100% sure if those were even like a thing that people wore at the time, because boxer briefs were, I don't even remember those becoming popularized until I was, there you go, efficiency 1, until I was maybe in high school. But that also could be because, you know, for a point in people's lives, you might think you have like fashion or whatnot. You don't really know, excuse me, as my voice is getting all cracky when I'm talking about this. You have no idea if you truly have fashion or not until you're old enough to actually decide what you think is a good fashion. Most of your life growing up, you know, your parents buy you, you know, the clothes that you need when you're younger, because you can't, you know, make those decisions, and you assume that fashion is good fashion. The only time you really start to realize that you don't have good fashion is when people start making fun of you for not having good fashion. And whether those people who are making fun of you are in the right, nobody's in the right for making fun of anybody, but whether they actually are accurate in telling you that your fashion sense is wrong and not what's like hip or in style or however you want to put it, that's the first time I think anybody gets to realize that they might not have the fashion sense that they thought they did, or their parents might not have the fashion sense that they thought they did. And I'm talking more exterior clothes. I wasn't going around showing kids my whitey tighties at school being like, how cool are my underwear? They got some Spider-Man on them. I'm sure there's kids now that go around and they're like, look at my Minecraft underwear. These are awesome. I'm positive it happens. It's just, I wasn't one of those people who was showing off my underwear. I mean, I didn't really think anybody wanted to see pink, pretty princess whitey tighties. Anyway, and yeah, when I guess it doesn't make sense when you say that they're pink but whitey tighties. But whitey tighties is more of a brand thing, more of a style, excuse me, than it is a color. You can have, you know, it's like if somebody made I guess it doesn't work that way. I was gonna say if somebody made like dyed an orange somehow to grow green, it's still an orange, it's just green. It's not a good example because it's not real, but if it were real, then you guys would completely understand what I'm saying. Either way, you know, they didn't like the, you know, I didn't think anybody was that impressed by the, you know, the pretty princess, you know, whitey tighties that I was wearing all the time. And I decided they weren't something that I was out showing off to everybody. I need to get one of these saplings actually for myself to bring back. I was trying to replace it, but I only got enough saplings exactly to replace it. So let me go out here and get these other saplings. I'm getting wood because I'm out of wood, and I need to make some things. And I didn't want to get normal oak for some reason. I want to have a better color, so I'm ready to do some cool builds and things like that. Not that I know what I'm going to use this stuff for, but either way. So, you know, I didn't realize that, you know, what I was wearing just on an exterior style, let alone who tells you, like, when's the first time you have a conversation with a friend? Because I've had the boxer brief conversations with my friends for many years now. Like, we have no shame. We will talk about anything that we need to talk about. It is not a big deal. Watch my What Do We Know podcast. We've talked about everything on that show because those are friends that go way back. We're not embarrassed to say things in front of each other. Even embarrassing things, well, we'll be embarrassed to say them, but we'll still say them because we're just those kind of people. But I don't remember when the first time I actually was able to have a conversation with somebody. I'm sure the very first time that somebody was like, hey Jeff, what kind of underwear are you wearing? I was like, why do you care? This is kind of a little bit out there. Who knows, actually? I might not have been... I probably wasn't, because I'm probably the person that asked somebody else and made everybody else extremely uncomfortable. I was probably like, hey dude, what kind of underwear are you wearing today? Like, I have no idea, like, how that went down. But I don't remember it. I don't remember that time in my life to know the very first time that conversation was had. So it makes it difficult to think back of when I started realizing that it was not normal for everybody to wear whitey tighties. And I don't mean not normal, but when boxers and stuff started to make it very popular. Like, I don't know the first time that I was like, boxers. I remember the first time I actually heard about boxers, and I was like, who would want to wear something that doesn't, like, cup you and make you feel secure? Like, that was my initial first thought. And I remember saying to myself, because I don't remember how it got brought up. It got brought up at home when I was sometime in, like, probably middle school or something like that. Because, I still wasn't buying my own clothes in middle school. My mom asking me if I wanted boxers instead of my briefs, but they were, whitey tighties, not talking about boxer briefs. And I was like, I remember telling her distinctly, I don't think I could ever wear boxers. I think the closest I could come is wearing boxer briefs, because I would not feel right, just kind of like, I just wouldn't feel safe at home, if you know what I mean, safe at home. And I think she bought me a pair of boxer briefs, and I wore them and disliked them. I very much did not like them, because when you jump from straight up briefs to boxer briefs, what you're missing is the fact that briefs come in, they like get right in your thigh crack. I guess that's what you call it, right in the thigh crack, and so from there it's like they secure around everything. And the boxer briefs, granted, they try to get into that area, but leaving you a little bit of shorts as well. They don't cup it that much, so it felt really awkward, and it was different. And then I started thinking, like, who the hell wears boxer briefs anyway? What's the point? Why make them look like shorts? I don't understand. I still to this day don't understand why. What's the point of having my underwear that basically are whitey tighties with a little bit extra on the leg? Just a little bit extra on the leg. Like, are you walking around with these and acting as if they are your normal underwear? Oh, by the way, guys, I did learn how to dual wield. I don't know how to use it, but I know how to dual wield. Thanks for you guys for telling me that there was dual wielding capacity to be had. What was I getting all this stuff for? Oh, I was just getting that for torches. You know that? How dumb is that? So I got these, boxer briefs for the first time and didn't really like them that much. I couldn't really figure them out, so I went back to underwear. It wasn't until a few years later that I was actually buying my own clothes that I decided, because then I started feeling subconscious. Yeah, I started feeling subconscious, like below my consciousness level. No, I started feeling self-conscious, because at this point I was in like high school, and people were making fun of people who didn't wear boxers. And why random kids at high school started having these conversations with people who weren't their like normal traditional friends, I have no idea. It was just people try to make themselves feel cool. It's, I gotta feel cool. I'm gonna make fun of Jeff because Jeff, do you wear boxers or briefs? Oh, I wear briefs. Oh, what a loser. What a loser. I was making fun of him for that forever now. I just had to find a reason. One of those type of things. Like, who knows why? But, of course, I started feeling self-conscious now. I was like, I got to try these boxers. And, of course, I put on boxers, and I walked around with them, and I was like, hey, guys, I'm wearing boxers today. Yeah, what's up? Am I a cool kid now? Type of deal. That's what you do. When you get something that's new in fashion, where's that coming from? Something in the mountain is a big water pool right there. When you get like new fashion, you do it because you want to be cool. I can't say you do it because you want to be cool, but it's often one of the pieces, especially when you're in high school and you change your style. You don't change your style just because you're like, I feel like a style change today. You change your style because you're like, I want to try to fit in with a different crowd type of deal. Because if you're comfortable with what you're wearing on an everyday basis, you don't just randomly change it because, well, what the hell? I'm just going to randomly change it. Not in high school. Maybe you do today in high school. You didn't in my high school. How's that? It just wasn't the way things went. So I get, these boxers and, pretending I'm all cool. And of course, nobody really cares. Nobody says, oh man, Jeff, you're in the cool club now because you're wearing some boxers. Where did that dripping disappear to? There it is. I need to find out what this is. Great. Okay, now the question is, do I go through and destroy this whole thing? I think I have to. Yeah, I think I have to. Ugh. Because otherwise it's going to leak all over as I start to build out this way and ruin anything I have like on the walls and stuff, so let's just do this. So I'm wearing these boxers, and I don't even think I liked them at first, but I thought it was going to be something that helped, improve the popularity. So I continued to wear boxers, which I eventually then got used to. And I remember one day, I probably didn't have enough laundry or something like that, and I was, I've been working since I was a young age. Ever since I was like 14, I had a job. So I had a job before I was buying my own clothes and stuff. I just wanted to save, get a bunch of money because I thought that's what people were supposed to do. And I liked having a job. I met people. I had a lot of friends from working. A lot of my friends now, like even the guys I do the podcast with, are people I met while working when I started at McDonald's when I was 16. But I still have other friends I started working with when I was like 14 years old. It's just the way it is. It gives you an outlet to meet people, and especially at my school. My school was a very small school. There was only 106 people in my graduating class, 500 people total in the school, 9 through 12. It got me to meet a different crowd of people. I ended up becoming really good friends with some of the really popular cheerleaders that were 2 grades above me because we worked together. We never would have hung out or had any reason to. Why would a senior cheerleader want to hang out with a sophomore like nerdy kid? You wouldn't on a regular basis, but all of a sudden if you are forced in a situation where we happen to have the same job and a same working means together, then it happens. And I actually was friends with a lot of it did help that my sister was a cheerleader, and some of my friends in my grade were also cheerleaders, but that doesn't usually give me the into, the older, popular crowd, quote unquote. It's just not the way it works, but, give us common ground and we work together and all that stuff happens. So back to the story on boxers. So I remember one day I think I was like running late for work. I did my own laundry since I was relatively young, and it wasn't because my parents refused to do my laundry. It was because I had different laundry needs than they were doing. My mom was one of those people who did laundry like every week or two, and I only had a certain subset of clothes I wore on a regular basis, and I worked at McDonald's for a while, so everything was greasy and nasty, and so I had to clean it a lot more often. So I just started doing my own laundry whenever I had a chance, and I think I hadn't gotten a chance and was out of my boxers. So I went back and wore a shovel. I went back and wore more. Oh, I'm using the wrong pick. Crap. Because I could just use my silk touch pick and not have to deal with any of this stuff. What was I doing getting a shovel? So I put the old boxer briefs back on, or excuse me, the old whitey tighties back on, and holy crap did they, unlike Guude's story, they were the most uncomfortable thing I'd ever worn. I hadn't had something riding up my thigh crack in a long time, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. The thigh crack was not a place that I liked things to hang out. And I missed the iron anymore. I just got so used to there being nothing there that all of a sudden now that there was something there, it was bad. It did not feel good. I did not feel secure and safe. I just felt violated. That's what happened when I got used to the boxers. So I immediately went back to the boxers and never looked back. Well, I never looked back from that standpoint. So pretty much since I was in high school, I've been a boxer kid. Well, flash forward to something I would never have expected to happen, to when I'm 28 years old. Guude talks about, finding his best, boxers and stuff when he was older. His came out of, I don't remember why he said he decided. I think he just tried. He wanted to go back and see. That's cool. What happens if I update the block next to you? Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't do it out of just I wanted to try and see what happened and what I was missing out on and if it was as good as I remembered it being. I did it because I started working at the hospital. When I first put on scrubs when I was in nursing school, the first day I put on scrubs and went to work, I felt so naked because scrubs are the thinnest items that you will ever wear. They are just paper thin things that the chicks loved it. And I'm sorry, I'm not being offensive when I say chicks. The females in my class, we got our scrubs, we had to go buy them from the bookstore. Yeah, weird scrubs in the bookstore, I know. But we had to buy them from the bookstore pretty early on, but we didn't actually start having to wear scrubs to the hospital because we weren't in official clinicals until we got all this other stuff signed off. until like 6 or 7 weeks in. But from day one, most of the girls were sleeping in them as their like underwear because they were so soft and so thin, and it's exactly what they wanted out of, good, sleeping stuff. Whereas I'm the type of person, I sleep in my underwear, so I was sleeping in my boxers at the time. I wasn't putting on, I didn't want an extra layer for one to put on. But I understand why they said that, because when I was at work, I felt so just out there. I felt like I was flapping the boys around for everybody to see, even though I wasn't, but just because there was no securement. Boxers aren't securing. At least jeans give you some type of securement. They're just tighter on you, so even if you're wearing boxers, something pushes your package back into your body, whereas scrubs do not. Scrubs are just like breezy. Like I was feeling breezes like on the tip of my penis every day at work. I was just like, ah, and it's not that good, feeling of breeze. Because yeah, sometimes when I was in my fraternity house, I would come home, and the boxers are great for this, but I would come home from class after walking there, and we had the floor AC vents, which was awesome because I just go stand, if this was the AC vent, I would stand over it with my one leg and let the breeze come up the side of the legs of the shorts to just like cool off the boys, and that was amazing. This is not one of those amazing feelings that I'm describing right now. It was like I felt violated. Granted, nobody was violating me, and I don't want to downplay anybody who has been violated in their lives, but I felt violated, and I didn't know what to do. So I wore those things for a couple days, and I thought about quitting nursing school. I truly thought about quitting nursing school because I was like, I don't know how I can't survive in a profession if this is what my life is going to be like for the next multiple years. This is just uncomfortable. I can't do it. So I don't remember what happened one day. I think I was watching a YouTube video and somebody started talking about boxer briefs, and I was like, maybe I should give boxer briefs a try, and I wonder if they would make me feel a little bit more secure. So I did. I went out like that night and bought a pack of boxer briefs and put them on. And granted, it was a little bit difficult to get used to, but it wasn't uncomfortable and a violated feeling. So I took the boxer briefs. I wore them for a couple days at school, and then I wore them for the first time during my clinical. And oh my God, it gave my boys a home. I did not feel like I was being violated just by walking down the hallway too fast to pick up that breeze. It was the most amazing and eye-opening experience I think I have ever had when it relates to underwear. I mean, it's not for me a specific brand. However, specific brands can change what you do. Like, Julia bought me some fancy, I usually wear like Hanes, or I don't even know what brand they are. Just cheap boxer briefs, cotton boxer briefs. That's all I wear, and I think they're absolutely fun. I do still wear boxers as well. I switch back and forth between the two. I normally wear boxer briefs because I've been, I was working a lot and had to be in the hospital a lot more than I was at home. And, well, not really a lot more, but, so I'm just trained to wear more of them, and I have more of them, but I do have both, but I will not wear the boxers if I'm ever in scrubs. I can wear the boxers again now because I don't wear scrubs when I go to work, but Julia had bought me this fancy pair of boxers for, like, Christmas last year, and they were Puma boxers, and they're, like, this stretchy, like polyester type of feel. They looked really fancy, and they were really expensive for boxers, but she thought it'd be a nice thing to get those for me. And I will tell you, I put those on, and they were the worst experience of my life. So there is something with the brands as well, because the reason they were the worst experience of my life is when you put them on, they're stretchy. They're a little bit stretchy. The material heats up, so it was heating up like just as I moved as well. And after like an hour of wearing them, I felt like my boys were on fire. I've tried to wear them since because I wanted to see if it was a fluke, and it was not a fluke. I can't wear those anymore. They are horrible. So brand is somewhat important, but I do wear boxer briefs for the most part, and I love them. I never thought about going back to the whitey tighties. I should give that a try though, because maybe Guude seems to think it's the greatest thing that he's missed out on for many, many years. But anyways, guys, long video about, catching up on the discussions of the boxer brief saga. I've cleared out a lot of stuff in here so I can actually start putting up walls and building or something. Like, I figure I'm going to just hollow out a lot of this and make multiple floors and things like that in here. So I'm probably going to keep going on the ceiling. Have like a loft balcony area in the inside of this. And then find out how to get it all covered up. Oh, and I got to get my overlook going there as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, this is Jeff, and I will see you next time.